is this thing too dark? Let's see how we can fix it. Let's go. Yeah. How does it look now? Alright, it looks good. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I want to tell you something. This is a 14-inch MacBook Pro with 24GB of RAM in basically brand new condition, and I paid less than what you think because I bought it off a random stranger on the internet. And honestly, when I saw the listing, I was first of all convinced that it was a scam. So let me tell you exactly what happened and whether the whole thing was actually even worth it. So a few weeks ago, I'm just scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, not looking for anything specific. Definitely not in the market for a laptop, because I had my M4 and it worked just fine. Then boom, all of a sudden, this listing just appears. I'm talking about a 14-inch M5 MacBook Pro, 24GB of RAM, which has been barely used, and the price, I'm not gonna say the exact number because honestly it doesn't matter, but it's significantly below retail. Like, enough that my first reaction wasn't excitement, it was like straight up I'm super suspicious about this. More to that, the price was way too low that the seller basically had no reviews and the listing had no photos, like 2 blurry photos, and that was it. There was every single red flag in this listing. So as a low baller that I am, I still low balled my way even to a better price. But I didn't just buy, I had to do my homework. I asked questions, I got the serial number, ran it through Apple's coverage checker. It came back squeaky clean. It was covered under warranty. I asked for more photos, I checked the IMEI, I looked at the profile, I checked other listings, and then I met this seller in person and everything checked out, and it was legit. It was a clean machine, it had no issues, so obviously I bought it. Now here's the thing, this wasn't just a random score, because I was upgrading from my M4 MacBook Pro, which I was using every single day for content creation and running a business. So I actually had a real world baseline to compare against. I'm talking about 2 machines with same form factors, as in they actually look the same. They have completely 2 different chips, 2 different RAMs, and I'm using both of them. So let's actually get into it, because the performance story is more sophisticated than you've probably heard. So here's what we are working with. On this side, you have a 14-inch M4 MacBook Pro with 16GB of unified memory and 512GB of storage. This has been my premium go-to for the past couple of years. And now talking about the 14 inches of M5 MacBook Pro with 24GB of unified memory and 1TB of storage. These look identical, they have same ports and all of that. So let's take a deep dive into this. On paper, it doesn't look like a massive gap because it has same chassis, same ProMotion display, same MagSafe, same HDMI, same SD card slot. You know what? Apple didn't reinvent the hardware here. What changed is what's inside, and the one number that matters more than any other thing is the memory, which is going from 16GB of unified memory to 24GB, and I'll explain exactly why that matters in a minute. So before I get into the real world stuff, I want to talk about the setup, because if you're spending this kind of money on a machine, you're definitely gonna want to protect it. I went with the dbrand skin on the M5, and honestly it completely changes how this machine makes me feel. It doesn't look like something from a store shelf anymore. It looks like yours, and for something I'm carrying and using every day, that really matters to me. This particular design was so intriguing to me because it literally glows in the dark. Like, have you ever seen something like this before? Okay, this is the part that actually matters. I'm not talking about specs, I'm not talking about benchmarks that you will never replicate. I'm talking about real work, what I actually do on this machine every single day. So I create content, I run a business. That means I do a lot of video editing, I do graphic works, I launch a lot of browser tabs, and I mean a lot of them, messaging apps, emails, WhatsApp, cloud tools, all running at the same time. And this isn't a casual machine, it's a workhorse, if you know what I mean. Let's start with raw speed. The M5 is faster than the M4, and that's just true. But what I really want to be honest with you here is, if you're coming from the M4 and you're doing everyday tasks, that is browsing, writing emails, watching content, you're not really gonna feel the difference. The M4 is already fast, and both of these machines are just fast. The gap actually shows when you push the machine, that is exporting videos, rendering, compressing files. That's where the M5 gains time, but in daily use it almost has an identical feeling. Now here's the part that actually changed my workflow, and this is the thing that I really want you to hear. So on the M4 with the 16 gigabytes of RAM, I was hitting the ceiling. It was not crashing or freezing, but when I had my video editor on with multiple Chrome windows, had Notion, Slack, or maybe Lightroom catalog in the background, the machine started to work harder. You see memory pressure warnings and apps will reload when you switch back to them. It was subtle, but over the course of the day, that really adds up, and it literally slows you down. So on the M5 with the 24 gigs, that pressure was completely gone. Everything just breathes. I can have everything open all at once, and the machine doesn't blink at all. And that's not a spec shit talking, That's something I feel every single day when I sit down to work on this new M5. For the battery, the both computers are excellent. I'm getting a full days of work on both machines. If the M5 is squeezing more efficiency, we're taking minutes different, not hours. And it's not a factor in my decision per se. You have the display, design, ports that are identical, same 120Hz Pro motion, same MagSafe, same HDMI, same SD slots. If you love the M4 body, you already know what you're exactly getting. So those are the facts, but here's what I actually want to talk about, because this is where most upgrade videos miss the point. The question above isn't, is the M5 better than the M4? Because it obviously is. It has a newer chip. You know what I'm talking about. The question is, does it matter for you specifically? And for me, that depends on two things. One, are you hitting the limits on your current machine? Because if you're not, I'm talking about if your M4 handled everything for you, man, throw at it without complaining, because the M5 is not going to change your life. You just spend money on box seat, use it for a week, and then think, this actually feels like my old laptop. Because for most tasks, it actually will, and I'm being honest about that. So two is, are you getting more RAM in the deal? Because this is where it gets very important. If you're going from a 16 gigabytes to a 16 gigabytes, same configuration, just a newer chip, I genuinely think that you feel almost nothing in daily use. But if you're going from a 16 gigabytes to a 24 gigabytes like I did, that's a real and tangible upgrade. So that's the one that you actually feel it. And I want to say something that might be unpopular in the tech YouTube world. If you're a casual user, I'm talking about if you mostly browse, watch some content, do some writing, light work, definitely the M4 is not holding you back. I advise you get a MacBook New. I'm joking. The M5 for you, it's just gonna be an expensive version of getting the exact same experience that you're going to be getting from the M4. So the trap is upgrading just because something new exists, because Apple's marketing is really good. I know this because I literally help them market their products. But your workflow doesn't care about the chip generation. It cares about whether it has the headroom to run without friction. So was it worth it? Here's my honest answer. If I had to pay full retail from the M4 to the M5 with the same 16 gigabytes of configuration, probably not. The performance difference in normal use isn't there yet in the way that you actually feel it every day. I would have told you to wait, But what actually made it worth it for me was the combination of three things. I got a deal. Four things. I got a deal from Marketplace. I jumped from 16 gigabytes to 24 gigabytes of RAM. I also jumped from 512 gigabytes to 1 terabyte of storage. And I actually needed a headroom for my workflow. That combination, better pricing, meaningful spec bump, real use case, more storage, made it an easy yes for me. For creators, for people running demanding workflow, for anyone who is already hitting that memory pressure on the 16 gigabytes of RAM, this upgrade, I'm not gonna lie, it makes sense, especially if you can find a deal like I did. And for everyone else who your ears, hold your money. The M4 is fine, just wait for M6. save up or jump to the 32 gigabytes or put that money into something that actually is gonna level up your output. I'm genuinely curious, like, where you at? Are you running the M4 right now, or are you thinking about making that jump, or did you actually skip the M4 entirely and just go straight to the M5? You know what? Drop it in the comment section below. Let's leave it all together. Let me know what your story is. Everybody that is watching actually wants to hear your story. So I've come to the end of this video. If you stayed up to this point, you're a real one. If you're not subscribed, please hit the like and subscribe button, and of course, see you in the next one. Let me leave you the message before you go. Remember that real beats perfect every day of the week and twice on Sunday.